everyone. Welcome to another episode of Friday Nights Live with It's Just Steph. And I am Stephanie. Go ahead and click the like button because I just know you're going to have a great time tonight. I have a great guest. He's a return guest here. So, my guest today, his first time here he answered an SOS call. And I was so happy to have him. And before the night was over, I booked him for another day. So this is actually his own time here. And if you all have ever seen the movie Hitch with Will Smith in it, he plays this relationship expert, this relationship consultant. And my guest is actually Hitch himself, right? He's a real live in flesh Hitch. His name is Inyatu Marvel as Hitch, or is Hitch, and he is back here, and I'm so excited to have him here. Hitch, are you there? Come on in this room. Come on in the room.
Steph. Hey everybody, hey. Happy Friday.
Same to you, man. I've been waiting to get you back here since we first had you on here.
Well, I'm excited to be back.
Man, listen. So you all, first of all, Inyatu, not only is he a relationship and a dating and relationship consultant, he's also a certified marriage counselor.
Absolutely.
And something else you are a I knew I wasn't going to remember it. I should have.
No worries. I'm a certified life coach as well, and I'm a certified facilitator of a couples assessment tool that allows couples to fill out a questionnaire, and then the algorithm, points out the strengths and maybe even some of the areas of the relationship they need to work on. But it covers over 30 categories, from finances to spiritual beliefs. And just is a more efficient way of assessing compatibility and strengthening relationships.
Okay. Well, this man is fully equipped.
Absolutely.
Well equipped to handle all your relationship needs.
For sure.
And we have them. You all, now wait, I'm not crying because I'm happy to see you, but I'm not, I be putting on this little mascara. I don't wear them eyelashes, but I put on a little mascara and it makes fine. So you all, I'm not crying. I'm just trying to keep my little makeup from running down my face. But anyway, so Hitch.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's talk about this book of yours.
Let's talk about it.
Okay, let's talk about it because you all, we are talking about today, and I didn't mention the topic. We are talking that we're taking a page from the book, and we are talking about the chapter we're referring to in the book is called, "Are you a placeholder or a partner?" And basically, if you're here and if you're trying to figure out why your relationship is stalled, why your partner won't commit, or why he's not all in, he or she, right?
Absolutely.
He or she is just not all in. This chapter the chapter in this book is going to help you out. It's a great, as a matter of fact, Hitch, you said in this book that this was your favorite chapter.
It is my favorite chapter.
Okay. Absolutely. So tell us about the book, because this isn't the chapter that you wrote in the book. So, this isn't the chapter that you wrote. So tell us a little bit about the book. The name of the book, you all, is "Why He Married Her and Played Me: 9 Secrets to What He's Thinking." Okay.
Absolutely. So I was blessed and fortunate enough and honored to be approached by a publisher about contributing a chapter to this book. And so did 8 other gentlemen. And so we were all assigned a chapter. My particular chapter is about sexual compatibility. But the chapter we're going to cover is a good friend of mine and colleague, Charles Dixon, wrote the chapter, You're a placeholder, not a partner. And it's my favorite chapter in the book because it really gives everyone tools to be able to discern whether or not the person who you're dealing with views you as a life partner or a placeholder. And so,
Okay.
so many men and women, this is the obstacle they're trying to get over, is not to be in relationships and unhealthy connections with people who aren't serious about going to the highest level with them, and kind of just leaving them in limbo. And so this chapter really gets into some of the signs, some of the flags, some of the red flags, some of the green flags, yellow and orange flags, right? We got all the color flags
All of them flags.
in this chapter. But certainly if you read this chapter, it will give you some indicators and help you to be able to decipher what type of situation you're in, a relationship that you're in.
Okay.
Shout out to Charles Dixon.
All right. Shout out, Charles. Thank you for this. What an awesome piece, you all. And I purchased the book, right? Me and quite a few others. And as a matter of fact, for the first person that's waiting in the chat window, you've already earned yourself a copy. So stand by. Don't get weary. We'll be right in there to you. And for the very next person that comes into the chat, we're going to have an autographed copy for you. And Hitch, I went right in and went to your chapter.
Okay.
Of course, sexual compatibility, and it was a great chapter.
Thank you so much.
And you know what I appreciated? I appreciated these big old words in here.
Right.
Because I try not to wear my eyeglasses because it makes me, it gives me the glare from the lights. But I could appreciate these big words. But you all, just to give you all an idea. And Hitch, I want you to tell us how we can get the book in a second, where they can reach out to you. Okay. But some of the chapters are She Learned Me to Earn Me. That sounds like a good chapter.
Yeah.
You never gave him a reason to commit. You were not marriage material, ladies. Level up. Okay. She did not need a man. She wanted a man. That's interesting.
Yeah.
She didn't need a man. She wanted a man. Because we always talk about we don't need a man. He wasn't ready. Social compatibility, spiritual connection, and then the conclusion of the matter. So, as a matter of fact, these are all of the chapters in the book. So, again, and just so you all know, the first gift I'm giving out is coming from Trudy Dunson. Trudy is already in the comments, and she says she's already gotten her copy.
Hey, all right,
and
Trudy.
Say it again. I'm sorry.
I said, all right, Trudy.
And you know what, Hitch? Trudy bought one for herself and one for a guest. So thank you so much, Trudy, for supporting Hitch and supporting It's Just Steph. And so this is coming to the next person in the chat. So let's talk about this thing, because when we talked about this placeholder, this placeholder versus partner thing, I immediately looked at it from the perspective of a woman, meaning that the man would be the one using or viewing the woman. I won't say use, I'll say view the woman as a placeholder, right? And you all, I don't want to tell the full chapter of the book, but we're gonna extract some pieces and we're gonna talk about it. But you got to get your own. As a matter of fact, Hitch, tell them right now where they can get it from.
Awesome. So you can go to www.thehitchagency.com. And what that would allow for is you to buy the book directly from me. And that allows me to autograph it and personalize it for you. And I ship the books within 24 hours. And so you can certainly get the book that way. Also, the book is on Amazon for those who are looking for an ebook and or even looking for a physical copy of the book. You can go to Amazon, but if you want a personalized autographed copy, you're welcome to go straight to my website or any of my social media sites. I'm in Yatu Marvel on Facebook. I'm in Yatu Marvel as Hitch on Instagram. You can just inbox me. I'll send you the links. And again, I ship the books out within 24 hours.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, you're on Saturdays, and you have an interesting topic coming up this Saturday. I mean, is that Sundays? The topic that you have at 4.
Oh, at 4:44, yes, Sundays.
Sunday. It's an interesting topic.
Interesting topic. I don't think I decided the topic for this Sunday. Last week's was one that got people all excited, but I haven't put out a topic for for this
Oh,
week.
I thought I saw the one. So what was the one
Oh,
last
okay.
week?
So I'm a guest on so many podcasts. So I'm actually a guest on another podcast. It's called Money, Sex, and Generation X is the name of that podcast, and the topic is why are your relationships so effed up?
Yeah, that's the one I saw.
Yeah. So I didn't know that was going to be the title until they put it out, but I understand the title, and unfortunately for so many people, it is true, and I'm looking forward to help people change that.
Yeah, well, you're definitely the man for the job. So
Absolutely.
I'm gonna have to check that out. So let's talk about this because I want to get this person that's waiting in the chat to let's get her on in here. But so let's talk about this. This placeholder versus partner. Because again, I figured it was the guy because
Right.
it seems as though guys. That's my only experience, my only point
Right.
of reference at the
Right.
moment.
And that's what we have to remember.
That's my only point of reference.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like the guys are the ones that are dragging their feet or their arses um,
Uh-huh.
about committing to the relationship. So I challenged Hitch. I'm like, you know what? I ain't never used nobody as a placeholder because I'm like, you know, and you brought it back to me.
Absolutely.
Okay. and
Absolutely.
and then Keisha and I ended up having a long conversation about it because I think now that I look back in hindsight, um, I have had some placeholders in my life, but they've been more or less um, gentlemen that I knew I didn't have a future with,
Mm-hmm.
but they were comfortable for the moment. They fit for the moment. They were okay for the
Mm-hmm.
moment. It was kind of easier to be with them than and deal with whatever else I was dealing with in my life and just kind of keep them there. They were my safe space.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I when I think about it, I wasted a whole lot of time,
Mm.
a whole lot of time with that. So, and then in another conversation with someone, they were basically this placeholder. They were both using each other as a placeholder,
Mm.
you know? So let's talk about that, Hitch. This dynamic, because you said this even happens in marriages.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so, most people haven't um, been taught how to be in healthy relationships, how to lead healthy relationships, what healthy and effective communication and comprehension looks like. And so most people are just winging it, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so ultimately, a placeholder is a person that we, connect with and have some level of relationship with and even marriage with that we know is not the person. We know they're not our, the person that we've been looking for. But uh, for various reasons, sometimes it's length of time, sometimes it's history, sometimes it's pressure and influence from outside forces. Sometimes it's what you said, it's just a comfort zone. Uh, you know, one of humans' basic needs is companionship. And so if we're not confident in our ability to find or locate the one, we will settle for the placeholder,
Mm-hmm.
right?
And I
Somebody.
imagine there's a lot of that going on during COVID because, it's kind of like, well, you was the last one here, before COVID hit. So, go ahead and stick around and, when the world opened up, we can move on.
Absolutely. So I see Trudy saying our placeholders just buddy calls, and no. So
She, oh, no, 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 wait. She says she meant booty.
okay, I thought she was being politically correct, so I would definitely was going to address it as booty calls, but I thought you said buddy calls because you were just trying to be politically correct or friends with benefits. And so no, people have married placeholders. Uh, I spoke with a woman just last year who had been married for a number of years, but in the last year, her marriage evolved into, or I don't know if evolved is the right word, but it transformed into an open marriage because ultimately they got married due to pressure from family members and friends. They had grown up together, they had been in a
Mhm.
relationship when they were younger, and so they went ahead and got married. And even when the woman admitted some things to the premarital counselor, the pastor who married them, unfortunately, he gave her poor advice and went ahead with the marriage and married them. And
Oh,
so
wow.
ultimately, she knew before she got married that there was a serious problem, and that problem has turned into an open marriage for them. And ultimately, it was sex, that he wasn't, the husband wasn't having sex with her, and not only from a perspective of her sexual needs, but she began to feel undesirable, right?
Uh-huh.
So that's the thing about monogamy. It's not just about being faithful. There's a level of responsibility that comes with that, because now this person is solely dependent on you for their
Fulfill
sex
the
life and for feelings of feeling attractive, feeling desired, and all of these things. And I guess the young man didn't take that into account. And so after a while, it began to mess with her self-esteem and began to make her depressed. And when she brought it up to the pastor that married them, prior to the wedding, the pastor told her to go get some toys and watch porn, which was
Oh,
that wasn't
wow.
the healthiest advice. And I don't want to knock on him, but apparently it appears that the personal relationship and him just seeing them as this great couple and two great people, and that's the thing about life. Somebody can be a great woman or a great man and not be great for you.
Right.
So I believe that this pastor just knew them to be a great persons individually, and that they had been in a relationship so long and had been viewed them as a couple for so long that he couldn't bring himself to empower her to call off
To
the
move
wedding.
on.
So he went through it with it as well. And so, yeah, why not divorce? Great question. Many people struggle with that, whether it's because of the lifestyle that they want to provide for the kids. A lot of people don't divorce simply because they created their lifestyle off of two incomes, and they can't imagine how they're going to maintain it if there's only one income. And so, I don't advise people to stay in
Not for that.
unhealthy marriages, but I understand that, the dynamic and why people do it. And I understand the human feelings that people feel as far as apprehension about proceeding forward with a divorce. It's scary.
Okay. Oh, Vanessa, where you at in the room? Come on back in here. But I want to say, Fitz, to what you're saying is in that instance, then also there can actually be um, love involved.
Oh,
You
yes,
can
yes,
actually
yes.
in the marriage, even like you can actually genuinely love the person and care
Absolutely.
very deeply for the person.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, there's a huge difference between two people loving each other and then being truly compatible for one another. And this is where we struggle. A lot of times people haven't been taught about true compatibility. They feel like that they love a person that you can make it work. You
Right.
sacrifice, I sacrifice, you compromise, I compromise, and people mistakenly believe that can make a relationship work. But without compatibility, love without compatibility ultimately can become torture, because you care about this person very much and you have a very strong desire to make it work, but you're just not compatible. So it's sticking a circle peg into a square hole, and it just won't fit. So ultimately, while some of the dynamics worked out well as far as parenting the children, and she said he was a great provider and he cooks and he does all of these things, uh,
Right.
self-esteem and feeling desired and feeling pretty or handsome is very important in a relationship. Again, especially when you've committed to monogamy and you're dependent on this one person to provide that for you. You can't
Right.
go out here and seek validation from other people. You can't go out here and satisfy your sex life or your need to feel desired with other people. And so you're ultimately dependent on the other person for that aspect of your life. And when they're not taking that responsibility seriously, or they're unable to fulfill that role, it becomes a dynamic that ultimately can tear the relationship apart or even the marriage apart.
Hmm. And you know what? Vanessa says she cannot get back in. Um, Keisha, if you can put that link back in the comments, if you can paste that link back in the comments, or Vanessa, go back up to the top and try it again. I'm not sure what's different when you left. Um,
Hey,
but
Vanessa, we're going to wait for you, Vanessa. Don't you worry about a thing. We're going to get that link. Technology is great. but it's not always perfect. But if you just give us a few seconds and be patient with us, you will be right in here with us. Sure.
So look, I wanted to say this. When you were just talking about the desire aspect of it, or when the person becomes dependent, do I say dependent on the other person to fulfill all of those needs?
Yes.
Okay. And I now, is that a proponent of extramarital or cheating? Extramarital relationships or cheating? Or I mean, because if because as a woman, we want to, got fellas, if you out there, let me let you know that women want to feel desired, not necessarily sexed up all the time, because you can desire a woman and not necessarily be having, there are different forms of conversation can be intimate,
Right.
just being in the presence of each other is intimate, working along, working through a crisis. That's an intimate moment. But just fellas, just know that your woman wants to feel desired. And I don't care if it's the same old dress she didn't had on a couple times, maybe that, but she wants you to react to that dress like it's the first time you saw it.
So
If you
as a
having a bad,
co-host, I want to plead for.
say
I
it
want to
again.
plead. I said, as a co-host, I want to plead for the men, ladies. Men want to feel desired as well. We like attention as well. We want to feel handsome as well. And so, this is an important dynamic that sometimes I think people don't think about when they commit to monogamy. All they think about is don't cheat, don't cheat, don't cheat, don't cheat. But there is a responsibility that comes along with monogamy on both parts. And we both have to fulfill our roles if that's what we're asking for. We have to understand that now we don't want this person seeking validation from other people. We don't want them seeking sexual experiences from other people. So we have to provide that for them consistently, right?
Right. Now, there's somebody in the chat, Chicago, everything says, I'm woman enough for this room. Look out, Chicago.
Right now,
Don't be
Chicago,
making me
everything.
feel, wait, don't be making me feel desired on this chat. So it looks like we have, and Chicago says that, Keisha had it up already. Chicago says women need to be wanted, men need to be loved.
That's an interesting perspective. I need both.
Okay.
What about you, Steph? Do you need you just need to be wanted, or you need to be loved too?
Um, I need both, because I have been loved and not necessarily felt wanted.
Mm-hmm.
So I know what being loved feels like. But you gotta, and even times not necessarily knowing, not necessarily. Like I knew he wanted me, I knew he desired me, but he never expressed it. Again, to that point where I said, if it's the same dress she didn't had on,
Right.
respond to her as if it's, the first time you saw that dress. Compliment your woman, or walk past and smack her on the behind.
Right. Right. Right.
Grab her. If it's
Right.
the morning and she say, "Oh, a morning breath," kiss her anyway.
Hey, and we also it's also up to us to try to be as desirable as we can. So whether me, I go get haircuts every week. I go get manicures every week. I try to take as good a care of myself as I can, because forever is a long time
Yeah.
to not be attracted to
Yeah.
someone. And so
Right,
I want to
ladies.
keep
So
that same
present
energy.
yourself.
Yeah, keep that same energy that you brought at the beginning of the relationship, and you'll continue to have that experience that you had at the beginning of the relationship. So
Yeah.
changing things, you change the results.
Yeah. And Trudy says she definitely needs both. Hey, she definitely needs both. So we have Vanessa back in the room. So let's get Vanessa in here.
Awesome. And while we're waiting for Vanessa to get in, I like Chicago everything in the comments. Chicago everything is a woman, right? Or a
I
man?
don't know.
Okay, it doesn't matter. Chicago everything, whether you're a man or a woman, let us know if you only need one of those things. So if you're a woman, let us know if you really don't need to be loved, you only need to be wanted. Or if you're a man, let us know if you only need to be loved and you don't really care about being wanted. But I really would like for you to elaborate on your comment, or at least tell us about your personal preferences and needs.
Right, right. That's good, Hitch. Trudy says, yep, you got to keep yourself up. But then she turns around and says, I think it's unrealistic to keep up the same energy.
For some people, it is. So again, these are the things we have to look at when we're asking ourselves if we're compatible and or if someone is a placeholder, right?
Right.
Because I believe that I'm convinced that I can keep that same energy with my future wife until I have no more energy to give whatsoever.
Okay. We got somebody in the room.
Hello, hello.
Hi, how are you?
We have a Vanessa in the room.
Friday, Vanessa.
Hi, how's it going?
Awesome, awesome, awesome. I like that smile. It's contagious. You about to have me
Isn't
on
it?
cheese
That's
all
what
night.
I'm talking about.
Isn't she beautiful?
Awesome.
Isn't she beautiful? Vanessa, thank you. Well, first of all, so thank you for being our first person in the chat window tonight. Girl, you might be the only one. Folks be scared. So I'm glad you stepped on out to encourage folks to get on here in the window.
I got to be honest with you. It was a mistake because I was
Uh-oh.
just trying to get on the regular chat just so I could support. And then I'm like, why am I backstage?
Oh, it was meant to be. It was meant to be, Vanessa. It was
But I'm
meant
here
to
now.
be. It's your destiny to be on this show.
Okay. Well, let me congratulate you. So you get a copy of this book.
All right, all right,
Now,
all right.
Thank you.
Now, I don't know if you're going to need this book because it says the book is Why He Married Her and Played Me.
Right, because he married me.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I think the title is just designed to entice people and, ruffle some feathers and get the conversation going. But ultimately, whether you're married or not, I believe that there's some beneficial information and or tools that people can pull from this book. So, my chapter is about sexual compatibility. I'm not in there telling you how to get a man to marry you. I'm just in there telling you how to maximize your sexual compatibility. So it doesn't matter what the nature of the relationship is. I think if you're going to be having sex, you might as well be having the best
That's
sex
right.
you
That's
possibly
the
have.
get it in.
How to maximize your sexual. So wait a minute, Vanessa, hold tight because I'm going to ask you from your perspective, and share what you like. If you the placeholder or the partner, tell us how long you've been married and so forth. I want to get into the comments because these comments will get away from us, Hitch. So I want to get into
They
the
move
comments.
fast. I see it's 60 of them.
Yeah. So Rudy says that your partner must still hang in there when the energy is low. That is through thick and thin and sickness and in health.
Okay, to that regard, Trudy, you are absolutely right. So I thought when you made the first comment, I imagined, two healthy people and you saying that, just because time has gone by, that they can't keep the same energy. But you're absolutely right that, people run into life problems. Sometimes there is sickness and problems with health, and that can affect people's ability to keep up the same energy in the relationship. But outside of that, I do believe that people can stay in love. They can keep the fire burning, minus having health and or sickness issues, or be going through a serious life obstacle or challenge that's just preventing them from being the best that they can do.
Yeah, because a lot of time, I mean, I ain't never been married, but I think folks just get comfortable. Like I got you now. You mine.
Right.
I'm yours. You know what time it is. It's 11:30. Get on in here. You got to get up in the morning, and I imagine that's how it's going.
Yeah, some people definitely get comfortable. Others they don't know how to keep the fire going.
Right.
And so this is part of the reason for the book, because sex isn't just what happens in the bedroom ultimately. So what I've learned is a great sexual experience includes you feeling great before you have sex, during sex, and after sex. And so that's very important for people to understand that. A lot of people are just moving on their primal instincts and they just get in the bedroom and start humping on each other and not paying attention to the before and the after, and how that contributes to how great of a sexual experience that you can have.
Exactly. Foreplay is there for a reason.
And
I,
mind play, even before y'all get in the same room together. There are some men who have women want to sleep with them long before they, get in their presence.
yeah. You know, I'm quantum. We got someone in here named Quantum Vortex Energy, and I want
Okay.
you to stand by because you have a long comment. I want to get in here to Vanessa because she's been waiting so patiently since we've been on. But I just want to say one thing. I was in a relationship with this guy, and we were much younger, so we had little fights. Now we had great making up. If I'm not telling too much, great making up, but we would fight some. But the thing is I tried to tell him you need to start apologizing way while I'm at work. You
Right.
know, way while and work me way up to that because you can't say I'm sorry and then tap me.
Right.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking a little bit too much, but hey, this is real talk. It's just if it's Friday night. Vanessa, let's get at this. So tell me, dear, how long have you been married?
It'll be 7 years in April.
Okay, 7 years in April. So
Congratulations.
Thank you.
yeah, congratulations. So look, I'm trying to get to my point. I'm trying to get to my question. So it's safe to say you've had your fair share. Okay, Quantum Vortex at 8 from Los Angeles National Laboratory. Hold tight. Don't go anywhere, Quantum. We're going to get to, matter of fact, I'm about to put your comment up because we're going to get to you. But Vanessa, I want to ask you, so it's safe to say that you've had your fair share of relationships before the marriage, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now, do you mind if I ask?
Go ahead.
In your marriage, are you and your partner, are you the partners or is somebody a placeholder?
No, we're partners. Placeholder, I don't think I ever was anybody's placeholder. I just think that Allah had not put me with the right person yet. So I think that me personally, in those relationships that I had in the past, that was me choosing my mate. And when I got married, that was Allah choosing my mate. And so that's why we're partners now. So it wasn't that I don't feel like I wasted my time with anyone. I feel like that was an experience I needed to go through to prepare me for my husband.
Okay. So, but let me ask you something. When you realized that, how far into your relationships did you realize someone wasn't the one? I mean, because I have stayed in some relationships knowing that person probably like, this probably ain't going to be the one, So, and being that you've had, enough, your fair share of relationships before, how long did you stay in a relationship knowing that they weren't the one?
I would say it was more so, when you're young, for me, when I was younger, I didn't really, maybe because I knew I wasn't ready for marriage either. So it was kind of like coasting. And it was for me when I got tired, when I didn't feel like this is what I wanted to do anymore, then I moved on. Yes, like for instance with my son's father, did I think this was the person for me? No. I was young, I was infatuated with him, we had a child, but I knew in my heart of heart, because we was on two different pages. So
Placeholder.
yeah.
Right.
So, but it wasn't
knew,
that I was the
but you
placeholder.
proceeded.
Maybe he was the placeholder because I knew this wasn't the person I was gonna be with, but it was just something to do at that time,
So that's what we discussed. It's not just women who are placeholders. Men are placeholders too. And so ultimately, that's really what defines a placeholder is if you know that that's not really the person. So
right.
then you're just letting them fill that void and fill that space until and unless you're able to fill it with the person you really want to fill it, which you may not even have met that person yet, but this isn't it, like you just said.
Right.
But he was the placeholder. We
And we
have to
were
talk to
young
him to find out if you were the placeholder, but he was definitely a placeholder.
right, because we were young. So I think when you're young and you're young and dumb, you think you in love. You think you know what love is,
Right.
but really you don't. And that's what it was. So again, I learned a lot from. I got a beautiful child from. So it was a good experience.
Yeah, I think people need to be a placeholder a few times before they can be a good partner. Right?
It's
It's a
good practice.
process.
It's
You
good
Right.
practice in being
crawl
a
before you
placeholder.
walk.
It's
I'm
good
sorry.
practice. It's good practice in being a placeholder.
I think it's good practice to have a placeholder.
That too.
Because to me, if they're the placeholder, you have the control. I think when you're the placeholder, they have the control.
Mm-hmm.
But I like to control my situations.
Well, you know what the purpose of the chapter of the book was to put the placeholder back in charge of their own destiny, right? And so, you know, that is
Right.
the point, so that you can discern whether or not you're a placeholder, and then use that information to empower you to make good, healthy decisions about what you want to do moving forward. And so,
Right, because you know what, we'll talk ourselves into saying, well, you know, he going through some, or he trying to get some stuff together, or he trying to, you know, save some money, or he trying to get over his past thing, or he gets, you know, we'll make, you know, when we love him and care about him, we'll make up some excuses for him, won't we, ladies? In the chat,
Yeah.
we'll make us, I mean, and maybe the fellas do too.
absolutely.
Yeah, I
So,
think people do. I think in general, people make excuses because, you know, we have blinders on. So everyone else can see what's going on. But in that particular moment, you don't see it because you don't want to see it. You kind of know what's going on, but you're like, no, it's not happening. But you really know it. And then it takes something. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but something pops. And you're like, wait a minute. Is he? Do I really like him? Did you really
Right.
just do it? You know? Then you start noticing everything. You're like, no, this isn't gonna work for me.
They say the path to finding out what real love is experiencing what it isn't, right? And so that's so often how we learn about what a healthy relationship is, or what healthy love is by experiencing unhealthy love, and an unhealthy relationship helps us put things into perspective. Just a little technical thing. I think somebody's not muted that maybe should be. I think I hear a lot of typing on the computer, and I don't want to mess up your live stream, Steph.
no, I'm not here. I am hearing some crackling too, and I'm not
Oh,
certain what that is.
okay. I just wanted to know
Um,
if it was something that could be fixed that we do.
okay, it's not Keisha.
Okay.
I'm not certain what that is.
Okay.
Okay, so let's go to quantum. Wait, let's put that back up there.
Okay. I
Uh,
see. For a large percentage of women, marriage is like landing a dream job. Then a couple years later, demanding half ownership in the business that hired you. Family law favors women in almost every way.
Wow.
There's some validity to that. Uh, let's talk about it, Steph. What are your thoughts?
you know, I'm trying to see because I know I saw another comment by them. Okay, well, first of all, I can't speak from a marriage standpoint because I'm not married and I've never been married. But I think I agree with the first part about marriage, you know, because you know we are built that way. Our desire is unto men, or what we want to be desired by a man. So when you finally get that man who commits his life to you, that you know that's a whole lot. That's saying some, you know, maybe from my perspective, it would be this is a man who has now made the decision to commit his life to me, to commit to protecting me and loving me and providing for me and loving me and finding me desire. I mean, so that is jackpot. That is like the dream job. But this other part here, when he says a couple of years later, demanding half ownership of the business. No, I'm not waiting for a couple of years later. I'm demanding half ownership of our relationship going into the door because it is a union. You know, it is a joint part. So it takes full effort from me and it takes full effort from him, I would imagine, in order to make it work. Now, again, I'm not married. The married people out, Vanessa, speak on that. Trudy's out there. So, Quantum, I want to go to, first of all, thank you, Quantum, for your input here. Watching from
Los
Alamos,
Alamos National
yeah,
Laboratory, Los Alamos, New Mexico, Office of Scientific Research and Development. Thank you.
okay.
Awesome. Okay, quantum vortex energy. I see why the name is so technical, because that is what you are submerged in, and it looks like that you're doing for a living. I like to address your comment. Definitely, society has shaped our culture and young women's minds, so that part of the dream for many women is to become married. So that's a very valid point. I think the second part of it was addressing what happens when marriages break up. So he, brought up family law. So in California, the wife automatically gets half. And so that's what he's talking about as far as half ownership. I can only imagine because that's automatic. Exactly. Quantum means after they divorce. And I don't live in California, but I do have some experience in family court. And hands down, family court is there to support women more than men. And so these are some of the concerns that men have that women may not be aware of in the dating space.
Yeah. True. Cherie says Quantum has been through some things. And
I think we've all been through some things.
yeah, and Quantum, thank you. Quantum says Quantum is liking and subscribing. Thank you for showing up here. And Trudy said, "Don't get fired, Quantum." Now, while you over there at the lab working.
Not only the wife, but the men does too. Yes, in the case in California, if the woman is making more, for instance, Mary J. Blige, her husband was able to get spousal support.
Who else was that? Had kid? Who was that? Little blonde hair. Ended up having some. Who was that? The husband got a lot of money. Young couple. The singer.
Britney Spears.
Was it Britney Spears with the husband? Vanessa, do you know who I'm speaking of? Was it Britney Spears? One of them. It was a Britney like.
Right.
She was Britney.
Right.
But
no, I think he got custody of their child, and he got a lot of money out of that area.
Yeah. So I wish I knew what that noise was, but okay. Hopefully it's not. Trudy, let me know if this is disturbing, because I'm gonna have to do some investigating. So Vanessa.
Yes.
So in this placeholder thing, or in this partner thing, tell me what did you know? What did you feel different in the relationship? Was it something he did, or was it something he was doing in the relationship for you to know that was the partner and not the placeholder? Or was it how you felt? How was it revealed to you?
I think some of the behaviors, just, stepping up, and at times when, after being single and being a single mom for so long, I was used to doing a lot of things on my own and just making it happen. And so to have him do things without me asking, it was just like, I can come home and it was done.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was so used to doing it myself. It was at first it was hard for me to adjust and adapt to it, because I'm like, why are you doing my stuff? This is what I do,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But that's what it was. He just started doing things and without me asking. I mean, little things like putting gas in the car, going to wash my car, washing clothes, cooking, making sure the house is clean, and just little things that I just wasn't expecting, that I never received before. And conversations. My mom telling me, the conversations we would have about my mother, who was getting older and ailing, and just saying the things about being able to take care of her, knowing that we would never put her in a home. She'll be with us. We'll take care of it. To hear those things come from him, that meant a whole lot to me, because that's my girl. That's my mom. And if you love my mother like you love me, you got me right there.
Right. Okay. Hitch, anything on that?
No, that as the book states, these are the ways that you can tell. So you can't just what the person's telling you, oh, I love you, I love you, I love you. So lust looks a lot like love, until something is required of you, right? So a person tell you they love you, they love you, love you, and then now, you know, life circumstances or the situation brings about something that's going to require you to do something or sacrifice or take some type of action, and now you're saying, you know, there is the indicator.
Say that again, though. I like that. You said that
Lust
lust
looks
will
a
look a
lot like
whole lot
love
like love
until
until
it's time
there's
to make a
something.
sacrifice, is the quote. Right? So, you know, as long as it's not going to inconvenience me, I love you so much, right? You're the greatest. I love
Oh,
you. And
this
then
is
you're
so
like, hey,
convenient for me. You're all I want today.
right. And then you start your own business, and, you know, you open a boutique and you get placed on the TV show, Windy City TV, but the package didn't, with the clothes for the fashion show, didn't come in the day before like they were supposed to. And you need somebody to go to DHL and get this package for your big TV debut, right? You need a man or a woman who's going to drop what they're doing to make sure that this big, once in a lifetime opportunity moment that you have in your life comes to fruition. A person who's just lusting after you is going to be like, you know, they're going to say they lost their phone, or their phone was on silent, or, you know, they're going to come with a reason. Whereas, as Vanessa stated, you know,
Why you can't use the stuff you already got? They ain't got no stuff you could use.
again, you know, that is what a person who is not fully vested would say.
And
Yeah.
I just want to add one more thing. One other big thing for me was coming through when you're angry with me. You
Wait, say
know,
that again.
so he would come through and take care of things even though he's angry with me. You know,
okay.
and so that was big, you know, because a lot of times when we get upset, or we have these attitudes, we're like, I'm not doing nothing. You know, I don't care. It can the car can crash to the wall. I wouldn't care. But he showed that in spite of how he's feeling at that particular moment, he knew we still needed to get this done, and he did it. You know, so that was big for me.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
a big question in relationships. You know, who does this person become when they don't get their way, right? Who does this person become when they get upset? You know,
Right.
this is a huge thing in relationships, because some people, as long as everything is going great, they're great. But then as soon as a challenge comes about, or as soon as something doesn't go their way, they be turned into a tyrant or a
Yeah.
spoiled child or even abusive. And
Right.
so very key, you know, to determining whether or not somebody's a placeholder or a partner. Not even just in determining whether or not you're a placeholder and partner, but you should be determining whether or not they're a placeholder and a partner based on that as well. Because if things, you know, turn super ugly and toxic and abusive when a person doesn't get their way, or when they're upset, that's, you know, that's not a healthy dynamic.
Yeah. You get to see who a person is when you know when you know things.
When things hit the fan.
Yeah. Trudy says some placeholders can become partners. I think when you, and put my glasses on, I'm sorry. Like the lights and the glasses won't let me be great. Some placeholders can become partners. I think when you mature and understand what you want, a placeholder can be promoted. What about that? So someone starts off as a placeholder and then they're promoted to a partner.
I believe anything is possible. I personally haven't had that experience. So I love for Trudy to elaborate on, you know, why she thinks that. Again, usually a placeholder is somebody that you know is not the one. Now, what I will acknowledge is that sometimes people don't recognize their partner when they meet them, right? Unfortunately, there's a quote that says, you know, women fall in love through men's presence. And a lot of times, you know, men don't realize what they have until the woman is absent. So that can definitely be the case. But I love to hear an example, or even just, you know, why you have that perspective, Trudy, about a placeholder being promoted. You know, what turns a person that you look at and you know they're not the one and how do you transform from that to looking at them and knowing that they are the one, that they're the person that you should be with forever.
That's interesting because I'm kind of in between both of you and Trudy because,
Okay.
I guess I'm thinking maybe that person wasn't the one because, like Vanessa was saying, maybe they weren't doing all of the things, and maybe over time, maybe they matured, you know, and Trudy speak from that. She says a placeholder can change and mature, and you can see them differently. Okay. That's what let me put a pin right here real quick, you all. It is on the hour. It is 9 o'clock. Hitch, you want to hang around a little while?
I'll hang a little while. I'll hang out a little
Okay.
while longer.
All right. So for those of you all, I try to end on time because this can go on. Vanessa, you're welcome to hang out with us. But if this is your time and you have to go, thank you for joining us. And we'll be right back here next Friday. Make sure before you go, you hit like and share this, because we all know somebody who's a placeholder and need to kind of move on, or who has a placeholder and they need to set somebody free. So go ahead and share that. And for those of you all who want to hang around, we're going to be here. And maybe will you take some direct questions?
Oh, absolutely. I'm always open to do Q&A. And so I think like what Trudy said, I'm with you actually, Steph, in the middle. So sometimes we don't recognize that a person is a partner. And so we're treating them like a placeholder. She said that she knew her husband was a partner when he was there for her when she was sick. And that made me wonder how exactly she viewed him prior to that moment. Was she telling herself that he wasn't the one, but then because he was there, she realized that he was? I'd like to hear more about that dynamic as well. But I'd love to do a Q&A and answer any questions anyone has about dating, relationships, and or even marriage.
All right, you all. So welcome to the after party, the Q&A. Vanessa, you hanging out with us, or you got to go to be with the husband?
No, he just went back to work, so I can hang out for a little while.
Okay, well, go ahead and hang out, make yourself comfortable, and if somebody comes into the window, we'll scoot you on over and we'll make room for them. So so Hitch wants you to expound on that. He's
Absolutely.
really interested in hearing where you're coming from that. And she wants us to address quantum, we gonna call him QVE.
Quantum vortex energy, QVE.
or Q. We just gonna call him Q.
I'm not mad at that. I hope he's not.
Okay. So, but Q says, thank you. I work in unacknowledged special access programs. I am doomed to live in an extremely lonely existence. Thank you again for your responses.
Well, Q, I'd like to chime in and tell you that I believe that you are probably wrong about that. That, believe it or not, this world is filled with all different types of people, and they're all unique. And so the opposite of a person not being your person is the person who is. And so there is someone out there who will fit perfectly with everything that you have going on, even if it seems abnormal. And so it sounds like, unacknowledged special access programs. It sounds like you probably have a very unconventional job and may even cause you to have a very unconventional lifestyle. And that can be discouraging and misleading as far as your ability to be compatible with other people, especially when you run into people who live normal lives and have normal schedules. Of course, they're looking at your schedule like, oh my God, I can't believe it. But I'm a person who has a different type of lifestyle. I'm a person who has a different type of schedule as well. And some people can't handle it. And I've met people who not only can handle it, but it's ideal for them, just like it's ideal for me. And so I implore you not to give up on that prospect, because there's a person out there for you who's looking for you. They're looking for that person who's in unacknowledged special access programs, because you're the only person who will understand them and the dynamics of their life and their career.
Right. So, Q, is it okay we call you Q? Listen, hang in there, because you sound like one of them, you got a whole lot in your head. You know what I'm saying? And I am with you on that, Hitch. And I would like to believe. Oh, shout out to Shannon Winston in the comments. Hey, welcome, cousin. So Q, I want you to hang out here, and I want you to follow Hitch. Tell him where he can find you again, Hitch.
Okay, on Instagram, I'm in Yatu Marvelous Hitch. On Facebook, it's just plain in Yatu Marvel. And of course, the website and the name of the company is The Hitch Agency. So www.thehitchagency.com.
Okay. So I want you, Q, I want you to follow Hitch and I want you to hang out here with me. Thank you for subscribing. And no, you are not doomed to a lonely existence. I think we're all feeling a certain type of way with COVID. I mean, so that's not, that's the new norm, the new existence that we're all living in. So don't feel like you're alone or, you have a special circumstances. We all trying to make do and hang on into there. So I just appreciate, because it sounds like you have a very important job. So I appreciate you for who you are and whatever you're contributing to this great world of ours. And you hanging in. I want to see you here next week here. Shannon, I don't know if you watched the last episode, Hitch, but Shannon is my cousin out of Chattanooga, Tennessee, and we,
Chattanooga, Chat Town.
Yeah,
I know a little something about that. I went to college in Tennessee. I went to school in Nashville, Tennessee, and so we used to always slide through Chattanooga on our way to and from Atlanta.
Okay, well, we were talking about investing,
Absolutely.
and my cousin, he got a whole lot of Bitcoins over there.
Okay.
And I was like jumping on him for not telling us, telling the whole family about these Bitcoins. Because I want to say my condolences. I hear the Bitcoin is going through a few changes right now. The Bitcoin.
I doubt that Shannon is too worried. The people who believe in Bitcoin know that there's going to be a little bit of back and forth before Bitcoin gets to where it's going. So I doubt that Shannon's too worried about anything, especially if he got in early, which if he has quite a few of them, then that's probably exactly what happened. So it's just a temporary shift in value, but it's not permanent. So yeah, I'm sure Shannon can represent for himself a little more in the comments, but I doubt he's worried about a thing.
No, I don't think he is worried. That was just kind of me just digging
I
in.
know you're just teasing him.
So Trudy says that I didn't know if he was the one or not, but I did see him in a different light when he was there when she got sick. So I guess she didn't see him as. So wait, Trudy, let me ask you. I don't want to, say that you didn't see him as a partner before you got sick? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I think she's saying she wasn't sure. Again, everybody doesn't lay eyes on the person and know right from that moment that they're the partners. A lot of times there's a little bit of a process into determining that. And so her saying I didn't know if he was one or not means that she wasn't looking at him saying he's not the one, but she wasn't looking at him saying that I'm 100,000% sure that he is the one either until and I love this dynamic because if you give it long enough, time will reveal all. And so life will give you a situation organically or give you a challenge organically. And that's when the truth comes out. And so it sounds like, her and his truth came out at the perfect time when she really needed him.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me ask you this because, so if there's someone watching and that you feel, now you kind of get it, you knew something wasn't right. He just, he wasn't going all in with you, or you just didn't feel that he desired you. He was there, but he or she, I have to keep saying this. So, but Hitch, tell us, so once we kind of get an inkling of this is what's going on, whether you're the placeholder or the placeholder what do we do now? Because now we're in this relationship and clearly the person, and even if it's a marriage or, whatever, but the person is there now. I mean, we're in it now. So what's our next moves?
Well, It's
Or
not.
first, I'm sorry, let me stop you. First, tell us, can you give us just give us a clear line, a clear picture of how do we know, how can we tell that this person is that, or I'm that?
Um, so if you're trying to figure out if your partner views you as a placeholder or a partner, you have to listen to the things that they say. And so when someone wants to be with somebody and what's on their mind is being with that person forever, then when they talk about the future and plans and even big decisions, you're a consideration. The relationship is a consideration in all of those things. And so if a person, isn't making any plans to be with you forever, it's probably because they don't intend to be with you forever. Consistency is a huge thing. When a person really wants to be with somebody, that's the consistent message that they're delivering. Everybody can have an off day, but if more often than not, this person is being inconsistent, then that is an indicator that either they're not ready for a partner or they don't see you as a partner. So I don't want to give away all the secrets because I really do want people to go in and read Charles's chapter and get a lot of the tips and the tools that he was able to give. But these are some of the basic things that you can take a look at and see. Are you bringing out the best in this person? Are they always impatient and irritable with you? If this person is, if the relationship isn't bringing out the beauty and the strength in them and or you, then again, here are some indicators of maybe this is not the partnership that you might have hoped it to be.
Right. Now, are we talking about, and you're right, I don't want to get heavily into the book, but when you're saying making future plans, we're talking about anything from a vacation next year in Hawaii, or we're talking about buying a home, progressing in a relationship, getting engaged. I mean, like how small a plans or how big a plans? All of them?
Yeah, pretty much all of them. And that's not to say that people who are partners can't take vacations apart. But ultimately, you're planning your life to be, before I even met my future wife or had an idea who it was, I was making plans, right?
Okay. Right.
I was making plans to set my life up for what it is that I desired. And so I do want a true partnership. I'm looking to build a lifestyle and build a legacy with my partner. And so I'm making plans for that. This is part of the discussion. This is part of the plan. And this is part of the action that, people can already see based on what I'm doing. And so tells you a lot. So if Trudy, for instance, had gotten sick and she was with a man that viewed her as a placeholder and had no intention of being with her forever, that would have been his exit. That would have been the exit ramp for him in that relationship, that he would not have had it in him to stick through that, knowing that that ain't even really where he wanted to be in the first place. And so that is a life challenge and obstacle that would have caused what I call a moment of truth.
Okay.
Can't lie to yourself no more in this moment.
Right. Because she says that she was saying that we were hanging out and wasn't really seeing them as anything. So that kind of that's kind of like what Vanessa was saying, and that was kind of like the placeholder. That's kind of like a hybrid of both, because she was just hanging out with him. She didn't see him as anything. I mean, some people are not looking for. Okay, this is a good question. So if someone is just out of a marriage, and so they're let's say they're divorced, and they're not looking for anything. They want someone in their life. They want to be, they want someone there, but they don't want to commit. They don't want to go further, any further than that. So that's still you. And let's say that their significant other, the other party doesn't want to get in anything either. Maybe they're both recently divorced. Okay, so is that a whole different dynamic? Or
it's definitely a different dynamic. So let's just be clear that everybody doesn't have to be looking for a partner, right? So this book and even this topic is designed to help people who are looking for a partner and struggling with that. That's why he married her and played me, because we know that there are many people who are looking to be partners who aren't having that experience. But at the same time, there are many people who aren't looking for partners, and those people can connect with each other. That's the point. Don't keep somebody in a placeholder position who wants to be a partner. Let them go be free so they can find somebody who wants to be a partner too, and you be okay too. Because guess what? There are men and women out here who don't want to be, who aren't ready to be right now partners, or don't want to,
Yeah.
who in their mind right now don't ever want to be partners. And so you can find people who you're on the same page with and have that experience and it not be harmful to either party. It only
So
becomes
that's the best case scenario then. That's the best case scenario for a placeholder or a placeholder E, is to find somebody else who's not looking for a partner.
absolutely, absolutely.
Okay. So let's talk about this though. So, you're the expert.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say I'm the placeholder.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the placeholder. Like, I love this guy. I'm the
Mm-hmm.
placeholder. I want the one, but right now this is who I'm into. So let's tell our viewers, you realize you got an inkling that you're the placeholder. How do I get out of this? What do I mean, is it just a cold turkey thing? Do I just go pack up, or do I just, ghost, or just
Well, it depends on what the nature of your relationship is, and so sometimes it's not a situation where a person can go cold turkey. So I advise people who don't feel like they have the strength or that they're in a position to go cold turkey to start creating an exit strategy. Start working on your plan and building yourself up, however, whatever that may mean, whether it be financially, emotionally, spiritually, mentally. Start preparing yourself to be able to make this move. Because ultimately you can't change another person. So if they don't
right?
see you as a partner, it's highly unlikely that there's some magic trick that you can pull that's going to change their mind. And so you need to make your exit. Unfortunately, a lot of times we end up being placeholders because we don't really believe that we can find someone who will see us as a partner. So we settle.
Mm,
We're afraid and or we're impatient. Again, companionship is one of the basic human needs, and so people have it. And a lot of times, people have gone through years of frustration in that regard, and so we begin to accept, less than what it is we're truly looking for. So
right.
people need to plan the exit strategy. That don't believe that ultimately, if you don't believe that there's a partner out for you, how can you attract your partner? And so
So
believe.
is there a conversation? Do I need to sit him down and say, hey, I ain't gonna be your placeholder no more?
Again, that is totally up to you. How invested you are in this relationship. So what are you telling them for? A lot of times we tell people things because
So
we
they
think
could talk us.
so they can change or they can lie to us. You know.
Yeah,
So depending on how vested you are in the relationship and what you feel like is healthy for you. Not easiest for you, but healthiest
healthiest. Okay.
for you in that scenario. And sometimes the healthy thing to do is just pack your bags and go ahead and move on. And sometimes the healthy thing to do is say, hey, I really care about you. You mean a lot to me. And I would have hoped that, this could have really turned into something permanent and then we could have been partners and made it to the promised land together. But it doesn't seem that way for me. And if that's the case, I don't want to be in the way of you being with the person that you're really supposed to be with. And I don't want you to be in the way me being with the person I'm really supposed to be with. And so, hey, let's find a healthy, happy way to go our separate ways.
So you know what I was thinking about the last time you were here? We had Franny on, and
Mm-hmm.
and we were talking about that exit strategy.
Absolutely.
Franny, if you're out there, say hey.
Hey,
So, so my thing is, I'm quite. I wanted to move on, but you just made me think of something. Vanessa, I see you back out there. If you want to come in, you're welcome. But is there, in your experience or in your research or in your work, have you found in a marriage someone who was a partner who turned into a placeholder? Like the reverse, like Tree was saying that someone was a placeholder and they could turn into a partner. But how about someone that was a partner? That's that we fell out of love, or things not the same, or you know.
Yes, whew, life is so complex, and so I've seen people be married and lose a child and be unable to get past that hurt because uh, they're triggers for each other as far as the death of their child. I've seen people really come together to build a family. Like that was the mission of their marriage, and that was the nucleus of why they got together. And then the kids become adults, and then that nucleus is not there anymore. And so previously they were partners to be the best parents that they can be. And then now that that dynamic is gone, there is no, that partnership doesn't exist anymore. And now they just turned into placeholders for one another. So yes, that does happen. I hate to use children as the only example, but people become partners for different reasons. And if that dynamic disappears, then there's no more glue to hold the partnership together.
What about when you get together, because who you are as a 20-year-old, even a 30-year-old, is a
Absolutely.
whole different person. You're a whole different person at the age of 50. I don't even think at 20 and 30, I don't even think you've become the person that you're going to be. You're
Exactly.
still growing. So what about that whole dynamic of we grew apart?
Yeah, that definitely happens. So for a marriage to last forever, people will have to fall in love with each other multiple times because it's highly
Ooh.
unlikely that we're going to be the same person at 21 years, at 51 that we were at 21. So yes, if you fell in love with a 21-year-old in Yatu, and now I'm 46, you will have, and we're still together, you will have had to fall in love with the 46-year-old in Yatu because I am certainly not the same in
Oh,
Yatu.
wow. But you said, I like that. Listen to that, you all. He said that if you're with so anyone who's been out there, if you've been married a long length of time, let's say 10 years, and it depends on which 10 years. Because
Mm-hmm.
I think by the time you're like 40, you pretty much, the person you're going to be. So if you've been together a while, you have to, in that relationship or in that marriage, you have to fall in love. You said you have to fall in love several times.
Absolutely. If it's gonna last forever. Absolutely.
Wow. And
Yeah.
see, my parents would have been married 55 years this past December 15th. Now, they're old school. My parents were not only high school sweethearts, they were childhood sweethearts.
Mm.
So I think they may have fell in love a couple times, but I think after they got up to a certain age, it just was what it was. They old school, they wasn't going nowhere.
Right, right. And that happens too. Everybody's looking for different things. And so, probably the older you get, I can imagine that, excitement ain't always what you're looking for. The things you were looking for before from your marriage may not be the things you're looking for 10 to 20 years from now from your marriage. And so people have to understand that people grow, they evolve, they change. And then with age, some people even decline. And so, this is all part of the bargain that we're signing up for. And this is all part of the journey and the process.
Yeah. So I want to ask you, Vanessa, welcome back to the room. You got away from us. So let me ask you, Vanessa, how long have you known your husband in total? How many years?
I think she
I've
froze.
known him ever since. Oh God, it's been. Let me see. Over. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
hearing a little.
Can
If
you
you
hear
could
me?
try to be still, because I'm hearing a little movement when you move around.
Okay. 34 years.
34 years.
That's how long you've known your husband?
Yes.
And you've been married for 7?
Yes. Because we.
Okay.
Yes, we dated. See, this is this is the funny part. We dated in high school and we dated through college, but I think too it's about knowing who you are. And during those times of dating, we knew we weren't ready to get married. We probably would have killed each other. So
Right.
it was like best for us to go our separate ways at that particular time. And so I put in the comment, I said, that's why I waited to after 40 to get married.
Right.
because I knew I wasn't ready. I knew it was still the things that I wanted to do. I knew I wasn't right. I'm gonna be honest. I know I wasn't right, and he wasn't right either.
Okay. Knowing is half the battle.
Okay.
No.
So so you've been married 7 years?
Mhm.
And how long did you
Yes,
date
in April.
prior to the 7 years, like that consecutive run into the marriage? How long were you all together?
It was 3 years.
3 years. So in 10 years, do you think in 10 years she hasn't fallen? Has she had to fall in love again yet? Hitch?
We don't have to ask me. We got Vanessa sitting right here.
Vanessa, has there been a shift in who you all are in those 10 years? Did you have to fall in love again? Or you on the same first wave?
I think it's like a wave, because sometimes we get on each other's nerves sometimes. I don't think we fall in love. We just irritate each other sometimes.
Mhm.
And so I don't think I had to fall back in love. It's just getting over some things that he may have done. Like he has to get over some of the things that I've done. But what I have realized with us is that accepting people for who they are, being honest. Because like sometimes when you're dating, you're not your true self because you're trying
Right.
to, will people in or ring them in. But we have been able to show each other who we really are. So this is what you get. So if you don't like it or you're not, so if, I'm not putting up any facades, he's not putting up any facades. So it's just a matter of accepting each other for who we are, knowing that there's going to be certain things that he do that I don't like. There's going to be certain things that I do that he doesn't like. But we can bring it together and still be with each other, love each other, and support each other.
That is awesome. That was actually the topic of my live last week. It was the 5 stages of love and why most people don't make it past stage 3. And stage 3 is disillusionment. And that's the point where you realize that this relationship is not going to be perfect every second of every moment of every day. And your partner is not perfect, but you still love them and you still want to be with them. And so once you get past stage 3, disillusionment, the illusion of, as you said, people's representatives and things of that nature, now you can create real long lasting love. And so it sounds like that is where you two have progressed to. So congratulations for making it past disillusionment, because many people do not. But when you do, it's a beautiful thing.
Thank you.
So was it 5 stages of a marriage or 5 stages of
Five
a
stages of
relationship?
love. So you fall in love, that's stage 1. Stage 2, you go ahead and decide to be a couple. And stage 3, you realize it's not perfect. And so a lot of people struggle with that part because they experienced the fairy tale of falling in love, and that's why they became a couple, is because they experienced the fairy tale of falling in love. And then when you realize that it's not going to be a fairy tale every moment of every day, that can be very disheartening and jarring to people.
So what's 4 and 5?
Four is creating real long lasting love, and 5 is using the power of 2 to change the world. So they say when 2 touch and agree, you can make anything happen. Once you've experienced the first 4 and you get to stage 5, now you're really a team and using the power of it being more than one of you. Because sometimes people are in a relationship and or even a marriage and they're just coexisting. She's going to work, he's going to work, and they're meeting up at the house at the end of the day. But they're not necessarily working together
Right.
towards making anything happen or making their lives better or anything like that. They just, to some degree, going through the motions. And then other people, they have real partnerships where they're really there for each other. They know each other's strengths and weaknesses. They're not caught up in gender roles and what other people think. They have completely customized their relationship to their benefit, and they're reaping the benefits of it.
Right. So that's that J Lo. I mean J Lo. That's that B and Jay Z kind of
I
kind of.
think some people would probably say Barack and Michelle before Jay-Z and Beyonce, but I get the impression that Jay-Z and Beyonce have gotten past the disillusionment stage and that they have created real long-lasting love and that they are using the power of 2 to
Look,
change
and
the world.
and on that same note, Kanye and Kim might be in stage 3.
Yeah. And I'm not exactly sure they're going to make it past stage 3. You know, God bless them. I pray for them. You know, no one knows but the two of them. But they're, you know, definitely experiencing a level of disillusionment or realizing that they're just not for each other.
Right. This has been great. So look, if you all are out there, Hitch, I don't know how we're at the 9:30 mark. Vanessa, did you have any questions? You know, I know you at the 10-year mark in the relationship, 7 years in marriage, and all things are going well. But did you have any questions yourself for the relationship expert here?
And student, because
No,
I'm still learning.
I'm looking forward to receiving the book, so I can read that chapter on sex chapter. I mean, because we have a good time. Don't get me wrong, but
Right.
I always
Hey,
look for new ideas.
absolutely.
Well, the marriage bed is undefiled, so you go ahead and have yourself a good time.
Absolutely. Enjoy.
So, you all, this is your last chance. If you have any questions, comment in the chat. If you have any questions for Hitch or myself, or for Vanessa, she's here with us. Go ahead and comment in the chat. If you want to get in here to the window with us, this is your last. This is the last call. You know, we
Last
won't.
call for alcohol.
Right.
You about to
Because
cut the lights on, and you ain't gonna have to go home, but you gonna
this
have
is
to
us flashing the lights. This is your last call. Hitch. So let's get to this last part, because I know I asked you like how to identify it, and I was asking how do you get out of it. What do you do if you're the placeholder? You're not the placeholder. You're the placeholder E. You
placeholder.
know, yeah, like I've put you like this person is in my life and I know they're not the one. I mean, I don't want to hurt them. I love them. You know, we have a good time. I just don't see us together 5-10 years from now. I don't see myself rocking in the rocking chair with them on the front porch, drinking lemonade in the sunlight.
Right. So the ideal thing to do is to be honest. And apologize if you know you've been keeping them as a placeholder. I think that people are sometimes ashamed of things that they do, and that's why they're unable to admit it to themselves. They're unable to apologize. But life is trial and error. Again, we didn't all go to school for how to be a great partner or how to be a great husband. We went to school to learn basic skills for jobs and things of that nature, but we weren't taught about relationships with other humans, and certainly not romantic relationships with the person we're supposed to be with forever. And so, let that person go. Again, if you are
But it's COVID. But it's COVID.
So what?
It's COVID.
So, for some people,
It's
everybody looks
comfortable.
at every aspect of COVID as this bad thing. But COVID has been an opportunity for a lot of people to really look inside themselves and improve, to change their lives. Sometimes God brings crisis. I say your life is like a house, right?
Mhm.
And sometimes we don't like our house anymore, right? But we won't do anything about it. So God will come through and tear your whole house down. And we panic, like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? Even though it wasn't the life you wanted, you all upset that God tore it up. Well, he just tore it up so you can build a new one from the ground up. You can make the bathrooms exactly like you wanted. You can make the walk-in closet exactly like you wanted, however many car garage you need. This is the
Great
opportunity,
opportunity.
to build a brand new life for yourselves. And so the certifications that I spoke of, I did all of that during the pandemic. So I took a boot
You
camp
were busy.
flipping houses. I took free online classes at Harvard. I got certified as a life coach. I got
Come on,
certified
black man.
as a counselor. And one of my good friends hit me up today. He said, "So what class we taking next?" I said, "I think we're gonna become certified opportunity fund zone managers." Right?
What?
Yeah, there's this thing called opportunity zone funds, and there are all these billionaires who are looking to put money into it because it's a tax deferment for them. And Yeah, why not be certified on how to manage those funds and those billions of dollars? Because I just found out last week of an example of a guy who owned 15 properties, started an opportunity investment fund, got these billionaires to put up all this money, and had the opportunity fund buy all the properties for him. So he cashed out, but because he managed the funds, he still controls all of the properties as if he still owns them himself.
Oh, wow.
Beautiful. And so you can, really wealthy people can defer their taxes by investing in opportunity zone funds for over 10 years, and then ultimately end up not even having to pay taxes on those gains. And so why not become an expert in that instead of just sitting around the house doing nothing?
You know what? Go on, black man. I ain't mad at you. And you know what? I agree with you. This is a great time to get your house. You know, the episode last week was about reinventing yourself.
Absolutely.
And I think people miss opportunities or don't recognize opportunities, and the opportunity and just resetting, you know, period.
Absolutely.
Because it's not necessarily starting over. It is, but it isn't. But
Starting
this,
something new. It's not starting over.
right, right, and you get to define yourself. You get to. I think I'm going to do an episode on building your own constitution. Your constitution is your set of beliefs, your set, the thing that you stand on, and that can change at any. Mine have changed since losing my parents, and sometimes things like this huge pandemic, this crisis, it can make you see life for a whole lot of a whole quite differently. And for me, some things within me, how I see life, what I'm going to deal with, what I stand for, it's changed. My constitution has changed. And so to piggyback on what Hitch is saying, you all use this opportunity. So if you're in this relationship, whether you're the placeholder or the placeholder I don't know what we're gonna call that person, but use this as an opportunity to get your life in order, or to rebuild, where you are. It's a new day, and sometimes, like you said, Hitch, you got to tear some things down in order to build a new.
Absolutely. So I just want to say, Steph, thank you so much for having me on the show. I love your ponytails, by the way.
Oh, thank you. This
So
is my
cute.
COVID.
I see you're wearing your pearls.
Yes,
My
rocking.
guess is that is in celebration of our first woman and black woman vice president. I don't know if you got Chuck's on.
I don't have my Chucks on. I'm barefoot, but I got Chucks in the closet. I had,
Okay,
you know what?
okay.
I gotta confess. When everyone was wearing their pearls, I'm like, I don't own any pearls.
Okay.
I have fine jewelry, and I usually wear the same jewelry, but I said I don't have, and I immediately got. I'm like, I got to give me some pearls. So I got a couple of different sets of pearls and a couple of different.
All right, I love it. I like that set. Very cool.
Yes, and this is my COVID hairdo. This is my go-to ponytails.
All right.
I just do them. But
first time seeing, but I think they're cute.
Thank you. They're good. Great. They're good conversation pieces.
Awesome.
Thank you. You all. Shannon says, "Oh, because we're gonna get ready to wrap up." Shannon is saying that he believes he's in stage 3 as well, married for 5 years.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. Well, I would say hang in there. People were asking me on the live before. How do you know if it's time to exit the relationship and or marriage, or if it's just delusionment? So a lot of times, it feels like we're experiencing deal breakers, but when we check our original list, they're not really deal breakers. It just feels that way. So it takes a level of emotional intelligence. We have to pull ourselves out of the relationship and or the marriage mentally and spiritually and emotionally to be able to examine it properly. But guess what? No one is perfect. No relationship and or marriage is going to be perfect every step of the way. And so these challenges, if you're with the right person, are designed for you to be able to strengthen your relationship, to see where the cracks in the foundation are and to repair them so that you can build this great house that we were talking about, right? Of your marriage and your relationship and custom build it. So I would say hang in there, Shannon, and to also let you know that a lot of times we need help getting past that disillusionment stage. So it may be you might have some strong friends and or mentors around you, maybe some men around you who are a little older, who can instill some wisdom on you and give you some real talk. Counseling has helped a lot of relationships. A lot of relationships don't wait until there's a problem before they get in counseling. They use counseling to strengthen their relationship and help them maintain the health of their relationship all the way through. And so, definitely I implore you to, if you, love your wife and you want the marriage to last, implore some of the tools that are available to you to help you get through the disillusionment stage, and then read up on it as well, and have her read up on it as well, so you guys can have a clear understanding. Because I didn't even know, I never heard the word disillusionment until 3 years ago, until I was introduced to the 5 stages of love. So read up on it a little bit, and it'll make you feel better, and it'll because you're more informed and have some knowledge, it'll give you more power to do something about it.
So let me ask you, is this a stage though that because she's not necessarily going through disillusionment as well. It could just be him. So is this something that he should pursue, this help? Is this something he should be pursuing on his own?
Yeah, he can.
And does he have to
experiencing disillusionment, then that's what he may need to do. If it's just on his end, and then based on what he finds out from getting help on his own, he may need to bring her in. But yeah, there's definitely nothing wrong with going out and getting help, assessing the situation, and getting perspective on the situation yourself.
Okay. Now, the stage 3 is usually where it either ends or it goes forward.
Yeah. So most people don't make it past stage 3. Most people.
Okay. Well, cuz hang in there, cuz.
Hang in there, cuz I'm rooting for you, man. You married her for a reason, and it may be the right reason. So again, these challenges come about because there is no testimony without a test. And
right.
So no one can tell you what it is for you, but someone can ask you questions and share information with you and give you different perspectives to help you be able to see it clearly yourself.
Right. That is so great. So you all, it is almost, it's our time. I could keep you because I got enough questions and comments of my own,
Right.
But I won't do that. I got your personal number.
Well, we'll save it for the next time, Amor. I'm sure this won't be the last time we come together. But
No, it will not be. And you know what? I'm so grateful. You said this the very first time in meeting. You said that for the new year, I can't remember verbatim what you said, but you knew that it would be a year of new relationships, I think, did you say?
Absolutely.
And right out the gate, we met each other. I mean, we were together on here on the show on New Year's Day, and you have been, you've like, I won't speak on it now.
Right.
But just the feedback, and you've deposited into me, and you've shared with me resources and other information. So I am just grateful. I still have not spoken with Pastor Chenier. I've checked on him to see if he was doing well, but I still haven't gotten him on. But I'm just so grateful. I'm glad he's well and doing better, but I'm grateful for the opportunity to have met you.
Absolutely. I'm grateful to him as well. I want to give you your flowers while you can still smell them. I'm thankful to be on your show. I'm thankful that you're allowing me to share my platform with your platform. I'm thankful for you for buying the book. I'm thankful for you promoting the book. And you've given me some tips and some tidbits and some things to help me with what I'm doing as well. And I'm paying attention to, I want to thank Keisha too, the person behind the scenes making it happen. And I'm learning things from her assisting you. I love your intro. I love that visual of Chicago, moving at a fast speed. I think it's true to life.
Right.
How it is in Chicago. It's a very fast-paced city. And so, yeah, I've gotten as much from this as you, and I'm very thankful to you. I'm very thankful to Keisha. I'm very thankful to everybody that's watching for indulging me and allowing me to live in my purpose and try to help people in any way that I possibly can.
It is a blessing to us. Shannon is saying here, Shannon's still talking. Shannon's saying Nehemiah 4:14 is a good read. Okay, you're going to have to read that. I don't know that off the top of my head. Do you know
what's the title?
Nehemiah, book of Nehemiah 4:14.
Oh,
Chapter
okay.
4, verse 14. But
Okay.
he's wanting to let you know that this is his second wife.
Okay. Hey, sometimes we have, we have to get it right. I thank God for second chances all the time. So it's a second chance to get it right, and hopefully, the things you learn from your first marriage are helping you to make this marriage more of a success. But I don't care how compatible you guys can be, totally perfect for each other, totally soulmates, totally ordained by God. It's going to be some challenges. There's going to be some tests. So
Right.
a lot of times people get discouraged when it's just a test and a challenge. But it's going to, it wouldn't really be a challenge and it wouldn't really be a test if it wasn't testing how you
Right.
feel and challenging how you feel. So keep that in mind.
Right. And if it didn't produce growth, if it,
Right.
right. So Vanessa, Trudy says, good night all. Thank you, Trudy, for being here every single week. Thank you for the book for Vanessa. Vanessa says, thanks to us both and good show. Thank you for being here. Thank you for having the courage to come on into the room. Everybody else that's out there, E Fitz, Q. Do you remember the name? Q.
Quantum Vortex Energy.
Quantum Vortex Energy.
What's good, Q? Hang in there, Q.
Doing big things. Doing big things. I can't even imagine what he over there doing in the lab.
Yeah, we might have to have him on the show one time just to find out what's going on over there.
I know, right?
Wow.
Right. So you all, that is our time. If you have not subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. I'm going to be here every Friday and sometimes in between. And again, my motto is that a better version of yourself is one decision away. One decision, just one decision away is always a better version. So tune in here. Shannon said, thanks. He'll look into it. And you all, do me a favor, share this. Make sure you hit like and make sure you comment in the comments. I need you all to help me push the content out. So don't forget to like and leave a comment and share this for me if you will. And I think that's all I have. If you didn't have anything else, Hitch, I'm gonna talk to you in a couple of days anyway.
Right.
But did you have any last word for the viewers?
The key to attracting your person and or keeping your person is being healed and in alignment with what you want. And so that is what my practice is all about. That is what my lives are all about. That is what my conversation is all about. And that's what my chapter in the book is about, is helping people to be healed and to heal and then be aligned with what they say that they want. And so that's my tip for everybody. That's the program. That's the key to success in every aspect of your life, is to be healed and whole. And then for all of your efforts, all of your thoughts, all of the words that come out of your mouth to be all going in the same direction, which is toward what you say that you really want.
To be aligned. That was big. I caught that. And you said to be in. I caught that. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna have to do a replay and put some of these nuggets in the and Keisha. I can see Keisha in the background. Keisha waving. She just got that.
Too funny.
She's doing the holy. Yes, you dropped a lot of good points in here. I'm gonna put that in if you all are looking to make contact with Hitch, I'm gonna make sure I go down and I'm gonna put it in the description so you all can scroll down and find that. And some of these nuggets I'm gonna pull out and put them here too, so you can copy and paste them. And listen, we're going to get out of here. It's our time. I got to go eat dinner. Hitch, right. I'm going to talk to you in a couple of days. Thank you, Keisha, so much for being in the background and my foreground. I love you, girl. And listen, for all of you out there, do me a favor. Until I see you again, stay out of your own way. Love you. Good night.
Happy Friday. Good night.
Good night.